Nessa girl, it goes without saying that, you know, Love and Hip Hop New York hasn't always been one of my preferred, you know, cities of Love and Hip Hop, but I will say this. This was the best episode of Love and Hip Hop New York I've watched since I've been watching the New York leg of the show. I don't know if they got a new set of producers. I don't know if they've taken note to what myself and others have been saying, or I don't know if the stars just happened to align the way they did. But this was a very honest, real episode of Love and Hip Hop, and not that fake put together ass bullshit that we've been served on a platter over the years. Everything from mental health to drug abuse to trans lives to families being broken because daddy's going to jail. This was a very real episode of Love and Hip Hop. I enjoyed every moment of it, and I want to just give the producers, Mona, everybody involved, VH1, a big round of applause and a pat on the back, because this is what we want. And I get it. I get that, you know, across producing a television show for 6, 8, 13 weeks, however long y'all work, that you're not going to be able to get this level of realness every shooting day. But God damn it, you can strive for it. This was a very interesting episode, and we could go so deep on so many different tangents, but let's just get started. Let's get the petty stuff out the way first. Juelz Santana, I'm going to need you to bring your ass down here to Dr. Heavenly before you go away to prison, and I'm going to need you to get them teethers readjusted, because it's something about hearing you speak and the way you have to position your head with them two teethers, and then you already got a lazy way of speaking anyway. You don't enunciate, your mouth ain't working. I mean, you need to get the hinges adjusted. Something is wrong with them big ass teethers, and maybe they put too many of them in there. I'm not understanding. They pretty, don't get me wrong, but something ain't right with your mouth area, and it's fucking you up from being able to speak. And if you could just get that together before you go to prison, so when you come out you'll be ready for the green screen, I would greatly appreciate it. Joe Budden talking with his mama. Now, it's two mamas on here I like. I like Rich Dollaz mama, and I like Joe Budden mama. I like both of them mamas because they keep it real. Now, Rich Dollaz mama, she got a little more oomph in her. But Joe Budden's mom is a very understanding, very well, you know, well thought out before she speaks type of mom. And I just love how she just gives him real deal advice independent of these cameras, and she has no interest in trying to be famous. Mama say, just come and lay up on my bosom and let me tell you how it is. So shouts out to Joe Budden's mama. By the way, that looked like she could pass for sisters with Rich Dollaz mama if you want to know the truth about it. Now, Nya Lee had to humble herself and come have a conversation with Rich Dollaz, because their relationship has been on the fritz for a while. I think their relationship being on the fritz is both of their faults. Nya with this, you know, so quick to pop off attitude, and Rich for being a goddamn creep and a borderline scammer. Here's the thing that we're learning, y'all. Because I'm the same way being from Miami. I know y'all gonna get sick and tired of me talking about because I'm from Miami and this how we do it. So many of us in the minority community have been raised that if somebody says something to you wrong, you cuss them out and be ready to fight. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, that way of conflict resolution was directly handed down to me by my mother. My mother carried, to the day she died, the reputation in our family that she the one that would get it started, and don't say nothing to Mildred because she'll cuss your ass out. And if somebody did you wrong, everybody in the family went and got my mama because she'll cuss your ass out and be ready to fight. So growing up as a child and even as a young adult, I adopted that same mentality. And even through college and even in my young adult life and even now, people are sometimes scared to say things to me because they are scared I am going to cuss them the fuck out. And God knows I have worked so hard to not be that person anymore, because I now understand that cussing folks the fuck out is not the proper way of conflict resolution. It's just not. It's ignorant. It's hood. You know, my mother spent the earlier parts of her life in the hood, in the projects. That's how people in the inner city, that's how we grow and are indoctrinated and socialized to resolve conflict. And I'm here to tell all of y'all who carry this whole, I ain't finna let a bitch try me. You try me, I'ma go the fuck off. I'ma pop off. And cussing folks out in public places and making scenes in restaurants. It's ignorant. It's ghetto. It's hood. It's low class. It's dirty. And I'm not coming down on you because I was once that person, but I now know better. So now I gotta tell you, sis. I gotta tell you, son. You gotta do better, y'all. That popping off shit. And I think Nya Lee kind of got that when Rich was saying to her, Mama, that's just not the way you handle things. And it's not. All of this aggression is what leads to our people getting in fights, getting incarcerated, and worse off, stabbed, shot, and killed. Like, there's just different ways to resolve conflict than fussing out folks, threatening to slap folks, grabbing folks, and escalating a situation. Somebody say something crazy to you, then you escalate with, bitch, I beat your ass, then bitch, you better, then bitch, what you want to do, come outside, ho, whop, in jail, stab, shot, kill, and you went all the way up here to work it all the way back down to the grave. You get what I'm saying? Let's just do better. Each one teach one. Rick says, okay, I need you to do me a favor. I'll help your music get to the right people if you help me with my artist, Sydney Star. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. When they first worked Sydney into this show, I was like, Lord, what all kind of cackamammy ways is they finna find to work this girl who I do not necessarily care for into this show? But this episode showed great producing in the fact that they were able to work this girl in semi-naturally until we were able to get some natural moments. When Sydney came to the table, I'm going to tell you something, and I don't know why. I'm such a big softie and I always connect with real. She did one thing at that table that got me to open my eyes, my mind, and my heart and soften me a little bit to begin to want to receive her. When she was honest with Nya and she said, Nya, I am a trans woman. And she was like, I am so used to people playing me to the left and discounting me on the grounds of me being trans, that the moment you looked at me like that, basically I got on the defensive and was ready to get buck and nuck and crazy. And Nya's thing was, girl, you putting all your baggage and shit on me. Yeah, I was looking at you like, who is this? But all that extra stank you put on it, that's your baggage. You put that on me. Yeah, I was looking at you like, who is this? Because I don't know who you were, and you stepped up in basically in our conversation. And so it goes to show, guys, sometimes we can have so many scars and so many predispositions because of things that we have gone through in our lives that we overreact in situations. Sydney Star, and rightfully so, was so used to people attacking her for being trans that she was on go. When Nya simply wanted to know, now, to Sydney's credit, Nya, you were a bit abrasive and rough too, but I'm pretty sure Nya knows how this love and hip-hop game goes, and it probably had more to do with the fact that those cameras were rolling, and she was like, what kind of bogus bullshit is Mona them finna throw my way, so I gotta be on go too. I'm just glad that they were able to squash it, they were able to apologize. Now, the thing that got me, Rich just got through getting Nya's ass together about her attitude, and Nya had the nerve 45 seconds later to sit there and try to chastise Sydney about her attitude. I'm like, Nya, you and Sydney got the same attitude and moreover the same problem. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really get that, but I'm going to let that part ride. Mariah Lynn, I thought we was done with your ass. God knows I wanted us to be if you was coming back on here with all that. Once upon a time, I was a hoe. But I'm admitting it or whatever kind of... But let me tell you something. Rich Dollaz quiet as it's kept. If Mariah Lynn was able to make a song out of Once Upon a Time, I'm a Hoe, then I'm going to need you to let Sydney start do whatever it is. That was her first time in the booth, whatever she did in the booth. But this is where the episode turned for me. And where I welcomed Mariah Lynn. It's reality TV. It's a docuseries. Show us what's really going on in these people's lives. I look at all the wasted time we've had with Mariah Lynn with this rap and her beefing with Bianca Bonnie and what was the Eddie Murphy looking girl? BBOWD. WD-40 them. Beefing with them when she had all this real shit going on in her life that y'all could have filmed and captured. Her having custody of her 2-year-old sister and the struggles that she going through with her mom, that was interesting. That was real. Tears welled up in my eyes. Jonathan, in turn, talking to her about addiction and her mom using drugs and him not having to, but admitting on camera that he's indulged in drugs before and how it'll make you act. That scene had me like this. Like, wow, they were having a real conversation. And I just found myself nodding my head. And then when the little girl came over because she heard Mariah Lynn crying and she asked Mariah what was wrong. And Mariah was like, I had to suck up my tears because I can't cry in front of her. The story of Mariah being a single mother but did not even birth the child or get the pleasure of having sex to create a child. That's a story people can connect to. That shit is going on every day. People can respond to their parents being, people can relate, to their parents being addicted and in jail and having to raise their siblings. People can respond to being single parents. That's the shit we need to see on this love and hip hop journey. So now I'm interested in seeing Mariah pursue her dream and balance her family. That's worthwhile. Not seeing her running up and down the street fussing with WD-40 them and Bianca Bonnie. Like, thank you so much, Love and Hip Hop, for listening and getting it to fucking together. Y'all are really doing a good job thus far this season, but this episode was exceptional. And y'all know I don't go up for Love and Hip Hop New York. For me, it's always just kind of been, Atlanta's always been my franchise of choice. Mariah then shows Jonathan that picture of Anais. And that was sad, y'all. Like, you know, it's one thing to like lose a couple pounds, but she was clearly something was wrong. My immediate position was, damn, she's on some kind of drugs. I always thought Anais acted, you know, very animated. But I didn't really quite get mental illness. I just thought that, you know, that was just something that she was doing for the cameras and that she was just extra. And when Rich and Jonathan met later in the episode, it really got sad when Rich revealed that Anais has been in and out of the mental hospital. And we'll talk about that in a few. Juelz shows up to the birthday party that Kimbella throws for the kids. And we find out that he took the plea deal. Good job, Juelz. I said on 2 videos prior, you can't afford to gamble with your family on this one and take that trial, not to mention with you being a rapper and having a past. I don't care. Any judge or jury is just going to have some predisposition to locking your ass up for a lot of years. So shouts out to you for doing the safe thing and taking the plea. Alexis Sky meeting with Shotty. This was another one of those episodes that made me say throw the whole Alexis Sky in the trash. I've just never seen so much entitlement from a bitch that got nothing to offer the world. Like, you have nothing to offer the world by way of talent. You have nothing to offer the world by way of smarts. Like, you know what? I honestly would just feel better if, like, she got an Adidas endorsement and just shut the hell up and smiled for pictures. To be quite honest, that would be a lane I could support her in. Alexis Scott, I don't want to hear you. I damn sure don't want to hear your music. And quite frankly, I'm not interested any longer in your gold digging turned wrong story of you, Fetty Wap, and this fool line you're doing on Love and Hip Hop. Then for Shotty to even have signed you to Treyway, and quite frankly, I just think that was all a ploy just for them to get more play on Love and Hip Hop and get a funnel of artists coming in. Because can't nobody worth anything honestly believe that they're going to put some money on your head and get a true return on their investment as far as music is concerned. Yeah, Mona gonna get a return on her investment from Love and Hip Hop because people your age, the Instagram generation, they like looking at the calamity that is you. But from the music industry perspective, don't nobody want to hear that shit. And Shotty will be a damn fool if he spend anything more than $50 in studio time on you. Nevertheless, the problem is you don't listen. You signed to a label and Shotty told you, please do not put any more music out on SoundCloud without approval. And you instantly tell the label head, I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm feeling like I got to do this, that, and the third. Like, Alexis, it'd be different if you were a real fucking artist. It would be different if you were Nya Lee. It would be different if you were Cayenne. It would be different, hell, if you was Mariah Lynn. It would be different if you was Cheryl Lynn. But at this point, you need all the marketing, packaging, primping, prepping, and every other P word that I can't think about that goes along with preparation and pre-planning that a person needs in order to succeed or to at least get you one piece of hit or one piece of hook in this music business. So I'm not understanding why you can't shut the hell up. And I hate what I'm about to say, but go back around there and suck a $40 dick. Like, carry your ass back around to Fetty Wap house and suck it and lean to the side he could see. And just do it and continue to make your coins like that until Shotty them package you up and get ready to put you on the shelf. Until then, pipe down, simmer down, sit down. Sydney Star in the booth. They gave her that track for a week. And Sydney walked in, and I ain't gonna lie, I was sitting there ready for her to give. Like, here's the thing, and it's gonna be hard for me to tell you this, Sydney. I'm with Rich on this. We gave you the track for a week. And that is the best you came up with. Don't get me wrong, I respect the fact that you are a beginner. But you are so far behind the 8 ball that if that is your best, you might need to go register at ICDC College for medical tech or dental assistant because, I just think there's no amount of remediation that's going to get you up to speed if that's your personal best. And I hate to be harsh, but I don't think your brain works in the direction necessary to do rapping on the level that is now required for beginners in this industry. The rhyme was so rudimentary. It was so second grade language arts class that it was embarrassing. Like, it almost makes me want to question, did you graduate high school? Like, do you have a high school diploma? And I'm not being messy right here. It makes me question your literacy. Like, how well you are able to read and write. And Rich was absolutely wrong. Now, I get Rich's approach. Rich is a Kappa. Rich also has been in the business. Rich was extra hard on you for a reason. He was breaking you down in order to build you back up, in order for you to know that what you did was below mediocre. Like, I think Rich would have even accepted mediocre in that instance. That shit was trash. That shit was boo-boo. That shit was boo-fale. That shit was garbage, bitch. You need to burn it, bitch. Burn it. And he had you crying, and I feel bad that you were crying because I could feel the sincerity. You want it. Like, Sydney been wanting to be a star for so long, and I get it. I get that shit wholeheartedly. But the thing about it is, and I've said this before, rap is the dumping ground for everybody who want to be famous but don't got no talent. They think, oh, let me be a rapper. See, you can't do that with singing. You can't default to singing. Because either you can sing or you can't. You can't default to dancing. You can't default to modeling. You really can't default to acting for real, unless you're doing reality TV. Rap is the one area of the arts where just about anybody can do it. Not anybody can do it well. Not anybody could be successful. But you get the right people around you, or better yet, you get somebody to write it for you, you can do it. So you can't do that with singing. Yes, somebody can write it for you, but you still got to have the vocal ability. Rap is one of those talents that if you insulate the person with real talent, all they've got to do is mimic what's going on. And that's why everybody defaults to, I want to be famous. I can't do shit else. I can't run, jump, sing, act, model. I'm going to be a rapper. And that's what you did, Sydney. And I just don't think that this is the personality. I don't think that this is the profession for you. They've created this profession right now, the same one that Black China and Amber Rose is in, like professional hosting or whatever. I think that might be, you know, might work for you. I think that you have a better chance of being an actress than you do a rapper, to be honest. You can follow behind Laverne Cox, and you can be famous by being a trans activist. I also would like to see Sydney go get some a little etiquette. I don't know why. Like, don't get me wrong, you more woman than I ever be, but there's just a level of polish that's missing to go along with her beauty. And I think if Sydney had just got a little more polished, that it would take her to a whole nother level. Do y'all agree, or do you agree? Nya meeting with Sydney Starr. That was a really good scene. Sydney, this is where my heart opened up to you all the way. I saw remorse for your previous wrongs. And I'm able to now write the things I did not like about you off to you being young, and you said so. You know, I like that you got on camera and you admitted I used to lie to guys about me being a woman. I used to lie. I don't know if you admitted to lying on guys. You did that in the past. You know, you shared that you've lied about being a post-op transsexual because you thought people would accept you more, and that you still have your penis. And I know that that was hard for you, especially after, you know, being friends with the new trans friends that I've made, and in doing my research about how sensitive that is about having a conversation about your genitalia. And hats off to you for that. But I like the fact, Sydney, that you have grown to a place that you were trying to clean up some of your past wrongs, and you are being vulnerable, and you are coming into yourself and starting to realize you, the way you are, is just enough. Then Nya started crying. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Real moments. You got two people from two different walks of life who were able to connect and vibrate on the same wavelength. And that wavelength is frequency real. She brought Nya Lee to tears. I like that. And that's when I was like, you know what? This is a good-ass episode of Love and Hip Hop. Then, after I come off of being primed for tears on there, then I just turned into a bowl of water when Juelz and Camilla were sitting on their bed and they decided it was time to call those kids in the room and tell them that Daddy had to go to jail. That was a hard scene for me to watch. It was hard seeing Juelz be that vulnerable, but I appreciated it. It was very hard watching Kimbella sit back and spiritually support her man. She was supporting him, silently saying, I got your back while you do this very hard thing, because this is your shit to explain to the kids. Then it was hard watching those kids try to digest that information as best they could for their age. Then they started crying, then Kim started crying, and I already was crying. And I'm glad the shit went to commercial break, because if not, I was going to fuck up my damn t-shirt and all my pillowcases on my sofa, crying and carrying on. Again, Love and Hip Hop people, we need to see more of this. It was a good episode. Jonathan then goes on to meet with Rich Dollaz down to the cafe. They sort out their issues. They apologize to one another, and then Rich drops the bomb. Yeah, you ain't been talking to Anais, but I have. And, you know, this is what's going on, Jonathan. She's been in and out of mental situations. And I'm going to tell you something. I read into that code when Rich said, listen, Jonathan, you and Anais' relationship is very toxic. And do you think that it is best that she gets released to you? Anais revealed that you've OD'd. And OD'd? Say what? Say huh? You know what I'm saying? And I did a couple videos, and listen, and I have no problem talking about it in the proper context, under the proper energy, and on the proper platform about my prior drug abuse. You know what I'm saying? And when I said something to you guys on the Married to Medicine video about everybody doing it, from my own experience and diddling, and let me not sugarcoat it. Let me not say diddling and daddling. From my own experience in abusing drugs, I've come to find out that the shit is more commonplace than you think. And when I said everybody doing it, of course you got the assholes that take everything literal and was like, well, everybody ain't doing it because I ain't doing it. And I don't know nobody that's doing it. You a damn lie if you saying you don't know nobody that do it. Trust and believe there is somebody in your immediate surrounding that is abusing drugs and alcohol. That was something I found out after I started abusing drugs and alcohol, and that's what allowed me to do it for as long as I did, because I was insulated by people who were doing the same damn thing that I never knew. And that's just true tea coming from one abuser to a naive or to another. That's just the way it is. And when Rich was like, you know, y'all have a very toxic relationship. You know, you OD'd and she said that you got high and did this, that, and the third. What Rich meant by that is that, yeah, you know, y'all were drug buddies together. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all were drinking and drugging and carrying on, or cold word as we like to use, partying together. And so, yeah, I don't think it's best that she's in recovery and she goes back to somebody who she parties with. Leave her alone for a little bit. Let her get herself together. You finish getting yourself together and traveling down your journey of sobriety, and hopefully y'all can meet somewhere in the damn middle. I've been there. I've done it. Got the postcard 2 or 3 times. So that was that. And last but not least, we get to Joe and Sin. And there was so much to unpack there. Number one, her being depressed. But number two, Joe, you know, Joe can be very, very insensitive and borderline an asshole. He's very black and white, but I think Joe's black and whiteness is really a guise for him just being an asshole. Like, by no means necessary was he even trying to hear what it is this woman had to say. Now, I respect the fact that he said, you're not the same person that I fell in love with. Something has been different. Yes, she's depressed. And in the midst of that, she still needs some compassion. She needs a lover with a slow hand and a gentle touch. And it was like Joe was just being so stern with the woman. And it's like, damn, Joe, show her that you care before you lose her. This was an excellent episode of Love and Hip Hop. You could tell it was excellent because I stayed in this monotone, emotional, lifetime narration voice space and didn't give y'all no highs and lows, because it didn't give me no highs and lows. Like, this is a serious matter and we had to discuss it as such. Love and Hip Hop, y'all did a good job. Y'all really did. Y'all be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Give me all the likes and subscriptions, baby. We on our way to 500K. We want all the subscribers and moreover, all the coins in 2019. Prosperity and abundance. I pray and preach and bless upon all of our lives. And I'll call y'all later.